I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
Kingdom Hearts 1 came out on the PlayStation 2 in Japan on March 28, 2002, and in America on September 17, 2002. The first game in this series, so let's begin. The story starts off after I cry again watching the pre-rendered opening with Simple and Clean blasting in the background, with our main protagonist Sora in a strange world known as the Dive to the Heart. Sora travels through the world guided by a mysterious voice. It is here that the player learns about the basic mechanics of the game, such as saving, jumping and running around, and fighting the Heartless. The player is also presented with a sword of strength, a wand of magic, and a shield of defense. The player then has to choose one of these items and then give up another one. Depending on what you choose will determine when you get certain abilities at certain levels and how your stats will increase as you level up throughout the game. The same is true for Kingdom Hearts 2 and Recoded. Later on, the player is then tasked to answer 3 questions from Sora's friends. From Waka, what do you want out of life? From Titus, what are you most afraid of? And finally from Selphine, what's most important to you? Now remember these questions because they are going to come into play again later. Sora continues to progress throughout the world, with the voice continuing to say that Sora will one day open a certain door. Sora then fights a giant Heartless known as the Dark Side. After the Dark Side is defeated, Sora is sucked into the darkness and is completely engulfed by it. He later wakes up on the beaches of his world, Destiny's Islands, by his friend Kairi, revealing the previous events to all be a dream. Another friend Riku berates them for not working on the raft that the 3 of them are building. Sora, Kairi, and Riku plan on traveling out to sea on the raft to see if they can find another world, because, a while ago, Kairi washed up on the shore of Destiny's Islands from another world that Kairi doesn't remember about, inspiring Riku to want to find this world as he feels stuck always being on these islands. Later on, Riku gives Sora a Papu fruit. This fruit is said that if you share it with the one you care about the most, your destinies will be connected forever. Riku teases Sora that he should share one with Kairi, which Sora dismisses. In another world, the mage Donald goes to wake up his king, Mickey. Discovering him to be gone, he runs to Captain Goofy with a letter from King Mickey. Back on Destiny Island, Sora walks through him and his friend's secret spot, where he adds to a drawing that him and Kairi made when they were younger. He then comes across a mysterious man wrapped in a cloak. The mysterious man talks about the door to the light and talks about more foreshadowing and whatever. He then disappears. Back at Disney Castle, Donald and Goofy reads a letter telling them that the king has left because he sensed that the worlds were in danger. The letter also tasks Donald and Goofy with finding the boy with the key. Queen Minnie then sets the 2 of them off on their journey. They plan to travel to a world called Traverse Town to seek out a man named Leon that can help them, as per King Mickey's orders. Jiminy Cricket travels along with the 2 of them to chronicle the journey. Jiminy talks about how his own world was destroyed by the darkness, him being the only survivor. The 3 of them set out together on a spaceship called the Gummy Ship, with Pluto boarding at the last minute. Back again at Destiny's Island, Sora notices a storm on the island and worries about the raft, rushing to the island. On the island, Sora notices that 2 boats are already there, thinking that they probably belong to Riku and Kairi. He is then attacked by the Heartless, with his wooden sword having no effect. He then runs into Riku, who says that he opened a door and that they can go to other worlds now. Riku is then swallowed up by the darkness with Sora behind him. However, Sora is then given a weapon known as the Keyblade, which he uses to fight the Heartless. He then goes to the secret spot where he finds Kairi by the now unlocked door. Kairi is then pushed into Sora by the darkness and disappears. Sora is then transported to the almost destroyed world and fights the dark side again. He is then sucked up into the Void of Doom as his world is destroyed, Donald and Goofy noticing it in Traverse Town. As Donald and Goofy continue to explore the town, Pluto runs off and finds a passed out Sora. He wakes up Sora and then runs away. Sora then comes across Leon, who fights him for the Keyblade. After defeating him, Sora passes out and is taken away to a safe place by Leon and a girl named Yuffie. Elsewhere, Riku wakes up in an unknown world, screaming out for his friends. Back in Traverse Town, Donald and Goofy run into a woman named Aerith. After Sora wakes up, Leon and Yuffie explains to Sora what the Heartless and the Keyblade are, Aerith doing the same with Donald and Goofy. They explain that the previously unconnected worlds are now connected, with the Heartless taking them over. They then tell them about a man named Ansem, who was the leader of their world that the 3 of them originally came from. He studied the Heartless, and Donald and Goofy guessed that Mickey went to the different worlds to find Ansem's missing research papers. The Heartless then attack, and all of the characters scatter. Sora eventually runs into Donald and Goofy, and the 3 of them work together to defeat their guard armor. Having completed their mission on finding the boy with the key, Donald and Goofy invite them on their quest to find Mickey. Sora goes along, hoping to find both Riku and Kairi. In another world, a bunch of villains talk about Sora and his victory over the Heartless. They plan and scheme their next move, with Maleficent leading the group. Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel to Wonderland and try to help save Alice from the Queen of Hearts. However, Alice eventually disappears with the trio unable to find her. They then defeat the Trickmaster and discover a keyhole which the Keyblade locks. The keyhole is a place where the heart of the world resides. The Heartless want to find these keyholes to plunge the world into darkness. However, locking the keyhole with the Keyblade prevents the Heartless from doing so. Discovering that Alice is no longer in this world, the trio adventure on. Journeying back to Traverse Town, the trio comes across a magician named Merlin who helps them train their magic. They also meet the fairy godmother who helps Sora throughout the game by creating summons for the player. These summons include Simba, Bambi, Dumbo, and Mushu. The trio then travels to Olympus Coliseum where they compete in the games. They fight a man named Cloud who is tasked by Hades to defeat both Sora and Hercules. After defeating Cloud, Hades betrays him and sends out Cerberus, which the trio defeats. The trio then leaves, promising to return when the games are back up again. Cloud tells them that he's searching for someone and that they'll meet again someday, hoping that Sora will find his light. The trio then travel to the deep jungle where they help Tarzan save the gorillas from Clayton. They find the world's keyhole, which they seal with a Keyblade. Back with the villains, we see that they have captured Alice and that their plan is underway. Traveling back to Traverse Town, Sora manages to find Riku and they discuss wanting to find Kairi. Riku is fascinated with the Keyblade and is happy to be traveling to different worlds, away from his own. Before Sora has a chance to invite Riku along, he disappears. Leon and the gang tell the trio about Maleficent and how she is the leader of the Heartless with plans of ruling over all worlds. Outside, we see that Maleficent has taken Riku in and is poisoning his mind to not trust Sora anymore. The trio then travels to Agrabah where we see Jafar and Maleficent discussing the 7 princesses of Heart. Collecting them will reveal the final door and Maleficent tasks Jafar to find the Princess Jasmine and the keyhole. The trio team up with Aladdin to rescue her from their clutches. However, Jasmine is taken away by Maleficent and Riku, but they manage to defeat Jafar and seal the keyhole. The trio promises Aladdin that they'll find Jasmine and Genie decides to help them on their journey, becoming a new summon. As promised for his help, Maleficent then reveals the location of Kairi to Riku and tasks Riku to go to her, with the assistance of Captain Hook. The trio comes across Pinocchio, much to Jiminy's delight. They take him along with them as they are swallowed up by the giant whale Monstro. We then see a flashback of a young Sora and Riku, with Riku discovering the mysterious door in Destiny's Island. Waking up, Sora, Donald, and Goofy discover that Pinocchio has disappeared with Riku having taken him, thinking that he might be the key to getting Kairi's heart back. The trio managed to get him back while also defeating the parasite cage. Riku vanishes and the trio help Geppetto and Pinocchio escape Monstro. On Captain Hook's ship, Maleficent tasks Riku with finding the remaining princesses of Heart, which she says will help awaken Kairi. Maleficent also grants Riku the power to control the Heartless. Traveling back to Traverse Town after solving various puzzles, the trio finds the world's keyhole. They then fight an upgraded version of the guard armor and seal the keyhole. The trio then travels to Atlantica and meets Ariel, who expresses her wish to know if there are other worlds out there. Ursula tricks Ariel into helping her by revealing that other worlds exist and that Sora, Donald, and Goofy come from one. Together they defeat Ursula and King Triton, who is also aware of other worlds, thanks them. Finally, Sora locks that world's keyhole. The trio then travel to Halloween Town where they team up with Jack Skellington to defeat Oogie Boogie. Sora also manages to find and lock up that world's keyhole. The trio eventually travel back to Olympus Coliseum where they compete in the games and manage to defeat Hades. They then find the keyhole and seal it. While looking where to go next, the trio are then attacked by Captain Hook's ship. They are taken aboard where Riku reveals that he's found Kairi and will wake her up himself. He throws the 3 of them in the brig where they come across Peter Pan. He helps them break out and they go to save both Kairi and Wendy. Hook is upset when they discover that Wendy is not one of the princesses of Heart. Sora and the gang confront Riku, but he sets Sora's shadow on them and escapes, taking Kairi with him. They then fight and defeat Hook, taking control of the ship and flying it to Big Ben in London. There they discover the world's keyhole, which Sora locks. Tinkerbell then comes along with Sora, acting as a new summon. We then see an extended part of an earlier flashback scene where young Riku actually sees the keyhole that is attached to the locked door. In Hollow Bastion, Maleficent's place, she comments on how much Sora is relying too much on the darkness. Maleficent then awakens Riku's true potential, making him even more powerful. Back in Traverse Town, Sora experiences a memory of a young Kairi hearing a story from her grandmother. The story is about a long time ago when people fought over the light and darkness was born into people's hearts. It spread and swallowed the light and the people's hearts, making the worlds disappear. However, light still remained in the hearts of children who reshaped the worlds. She says that true lights sleep deep within the darkness, which is why the worlds are scattered. She tells Kairi that even in the deepest of darkness, there will always be a light that will guide her. The trio then travel to Hollow Bastion where they come across Riku and the Beast fighting. Beast being there because he is looking for Belle. When Sora confronts Riku, Riku manages to take the Keyblade away from Sora, revealing himself to be a true Keyblade master. He mocks Sora, calling him nothing but a delivery boy. Riku leaves, with Donald and Goofy following him regretfully because it is what their king ordered them to do. Not giving up, Sora teams up with the Beast and travels to the castle. Elsewhere, Maleficent, with the Princesses of Heart, try to reveal the world's keyhole to open the final door. Sora and the Beast catch up to Riku, where Donald and Goofy join Sora's side to fight Riku, who uses his new form to fight with the power of darkness. Realizing that his friends are his true power, the Keyblade leaves Riku and returns to Sora. After defeating Riku, he runs away with the trio running after him. Riku, distraught from losing the Keyblade, is approached by the mysterious man from the island. The man tells Riku to open himself to the darkness and to become darkness itself. Riku, with his voice now changed and deeper, goes to Maleficent and sees that the keyhole has been revealed. However, the keyhole is an opening, and it is then revealed that Kairi is one of the Princesses of Heart, and that since her heart is gone, the keyhole cannot truly be opened. The trio comes across Maleficent, who attacks them. After defeating her, Maleficent runs away with the trio chasing after her. Riku, using his new Keyblade, stabs Maleficent and unlocks the darkness in her heart. This causes Maleficent to turn into her dragon form. They defeat her once again, this time for good. The trio then finds Riku with the Princesses of Heart. It is here that Sora learns that Kairi's heart has been inside of him all along. When Sora discovers that this person is no longer Riku, he reveals himself to be Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. After fighting and defeating him, Sora grabs Riku's Keyblade and stabs himself, ultimately setting Kairi's heart free and waking her up. This causes Sora to vanish with the keyhole to darkness opening. Ansem then reveals his true self, but Riku manages to hold him back. Kairi, along with Donald and Goofy, escape and try to head back to the gummy ship. The player then takes control of a single Heartless and catches up with them. Surrounded by the Heartless, Kairi protects the single Heartless, thinking it to be Sora, and manages to turn him back to normal. The four of them leave and travel back to Traverse Town. Consulting with Leon and the gang, Sora decides to return to Hollow Bastion to seal the Keyhole of Darkness. Kairi then gives Sora her good luck charm, telling him to be sure to bring it back to her. Sora promises and swears to bring Riku back. In a place filled with darkness, Riku finds himself alone. Riku then hears a mysterious voice who says that he has the other Keyblade which belongs to this world. Instructed by the voice, Riku goes to find the Door of Darkness to help. Back in Hollow Bastion, Beast manages to find Belle. They also run into the other princesses, who tell Sora to hurry and seal the keyhole. Inside the Keyhole of Darkness, the trio fight and defeat the giant behemoth and manage to seal the keyhole. Meeting up with Leon and the gang, they tell Sora that this world used to be their own. They tell Sora that if he defeats Ansem, then all of the worlds will be restored again. However, they also say that when this happens, they won't see each other again, as the worlds will become separate once more.
We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other.
The trio then travels to where Ansem resides. Before going to the final world, if you go back to where you fought Maleficent for the second time, you'll come across a mysterious man in a black coat. The man comments that Sora seems to be special too. Goofy thinks that this man might be Ansem, but the man denies this and finds the name familiar, and that Sora reminds him of someone, saying that Sora is incomplete and that he wishes to test him. After defeating the unknown man, he compliments Sora, awaits their next meeting, and disappears, saying that he is nothing but a mere shell. Don't worry, we'll see this unknown man again. The trio travel to a place called End of the World. Traveling through it, the trio fight and defeat Chernobog. Going further in, the trio finds himself on Destiny's Island again, where they find Ansem. Ansem then summons his guardian and they fight. Retreating, Sora finds himself alone and fights another Darkseid and Ansem once again. He's then engulfed by darkness, where they also finally encounter the door, which is revealed to be Kingdom Hearts, the heart of all worlds. They then find a transformed Ansem as a big huge ship, or whatever the hell this is. After a long and grueling fight, they manage to finally defeat Ansem. Sora then proudly says that Kingdom Hearts is light, the door opening and engulfing Ansem with light, finally defeating him for good. The trio rushes to the door, trying to close it. Being unable to at first, they are helped by Riku and King Mickey. Using the two Keyblades, Sora and Mickey seal Kingdom Hearts, leaving Riku and Mickey on the other side, in the realm of darkness. Kairi then suddenly appears, and Sora and Kairi meet up again. But before they can exchange any words, they start to become separated. Sora says that no matter where Kairi goes, he'll always come back to her. Kairi says that she knows he will. The two then separate, Simple and Clean plays again, and suddenly, I'm in tears. Back on Destiny's Island, Kairi watches as all of the worlds become restored. She then goes to the secret spot and adds to the drawing that she and Sora made when they were younger, connecting their hearts forever. In the end credits, we see what is happening with a bunch of characters from the game. Important one to note is Cloud meeting up with Leon and the gang, to the happy delight of Aerith. In a grassy field, Sora, Donald, and Goofy, who are in new clothes for some reason, walk down a long road, with plans to find Riku and Mickey. They then come across Pluto, who has a letter from the king in his mouth. Pluto runs off and the three chase after him and on to their next adventure. The mysterious voice from the beginning of the game says that one day still, Sora will be the one who will open the door to the light. And that's it, guys. Kingdom Hearts 1, the first game in the series with so much more to go. Will Sora, Donald, and Goofy find Riku and King Mickey? And if they do, will they be able to return to their worlds? Tune in next time for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.